So I'm here talking to the amazing Lara McDonnell, who played Holly Short, one of her many roles, and she is now has no wings, so she has to stay here and talk to me. How are you? How are you, Lara?
I'm good, thank you, Owen. How are you?
I'm good. Are you looking forward to because it's almost Christmas? Are you looking forward?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 100%. I'm a huge Christmas person, so
But
counting down the
you
days.
have the decorations up, and do you like a tree?
Oh,
You like
100%.
everything? Yeah.
Oh yeah, my family goes all out for Christmas. Yeah, we have this saying that if you stand still in my house, you will get a light put around you. Like it's madness in a good way. Christmas madness is always good. We
That
like
sounds
Christmas
like
madness.
sounds like good madness, though. Some people go a bit too
Yeah.
far. It sounds like just you just have the right amount of madness.
Yeah, we have concocted it perfectly. It took time to formulate this perfect concoction, but we got there in the end.
Congratulations, Christmas
Thank
felicitations
you.
on your madness.
Thank you. I
We
try.
have we put the call out on Instagram for questions for you, and we were inundated. I was quite miffed because I only got like two questions for me, and then there were five questions for you. So we tried to kind of pick a few themes because
Okay.
there's so many. But we'll start with this one, and this was asked by Sheamus has just put LOP, and that means lots of people asked this question. What was your first acting role?
Oh, so my first proper acting role in a film was in this film called Love Rosie, and it was a rom-com. It's based on a book by Cecilia Ahern called Where Rainbows End, and it has Lily Collins and Sam Claflin in it, and I played a young Lily Collins, and it
Oh,
was the first like film I ever did, and I got to meet Lily Collins and Sam Claflin, which I was 9, I think. So
wow.
I was it was my first time ever on like a film set, and I was just in complete awe of the energy and of the crew and of the rest of the cast. And I knew that when I set my foot on that set, like I want to do this. This is it. But the first role I ever did was I was actually in a milk ad when I was 8. I was in an Avonmore milk ad,
Wow.
and I hate milk. So,
You have to drink
and
like
it
out.
was
This,
yeah, it was so much fun. And in the actual advertisement, it's just like a little sip, but obviously we had to do it so many different times from so many different angles. And yeah, I don't like milk, and that did not help me like milk anymore. So like the smell of it now, I'm like, oh my god, no, get it away.
did you
Yeah,
have a
that
moment
was
when you were drinking that milk when you're thinking maybe this is not the career?
I was just so happy to be there, if I'm being honest with you. I was like, this is so cool. And yeah, but um I don't think I would do another milk advertisement. I don't That's
I think
not for
everybody,
me.
yeah, you probably won't.
Yeah, that's not the path I want to go down. Once was enough.
I know that movie Love Rosie. I've seen the poster. I must go and watch it now. I'd say it sounds like it'd be a nice Christmas, movie for
Yeah, it's
like
actually it's really lovely. It's just yeah, it's a really lovely film. It'd be nice around, I think, yeah, there's bits in it that are around Christmas actually, so it'd be nice to watch around Christmas.
And did you have to do an Irish or an English accent, I should say?
I did, and it was the first time I'd ever done like an accent, and I genuinely learned how to do my English accent, not just for Love Rosie, but for when I did Matilda as well. I had to have an English accent, and I learned how to do an English accent by watching Harry Potter and by listening to Emma Watson on a repeat. And that is how I learned to do an English accent, to the point where when I was lucky enough to go over to England and I had been offered the role and I was rehearsing for Matilda, that I had to get dialect coaching. And they were like, your English accent's really good, but it's too posh for Matilda. So we need to take it down a notch. And they were like, so why is it so posh? Where'd you get it from? And I was like, Emma Watson. It's Emma Watson.
How did you make the jump from movies to musicals?
So I went to this little like Saturday class where I did acting and singing and dancing, and it was through that I actually got the audition for Love Rosie. Like they put out a call to Irish children's actors agencies and said, oh, if you have any girls that look like Lily Collins, let us know or whatever. And I was part of it. Was quite a small, it was just a class on Saturday that I did for fun. And the woman who ran it said, oh, would you want to do this? And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
would love to. And it was the same approach for Matilda, in that they put out a call of any young children who would like to audition for Matilda the musical. And my acting and singing teacher were like, we think Lara could do this. And they said this to my parents, not to me. So I had no clue whatsoever. And my parents had never heard me sing before. So they were like, Lara?
Yeah.
No.
Lara.
And yeah, they were like, are you sure? And they were like, no, we really think. And my parents were like, okay. So they had to fill out an application for me to audition for it, and they didn't say anything to me. And then they heard back and they said, yeah, we'd love if she could come over and audition. And so my parents told me, and this was like a couple of days before I had to go over and audition, they were like, yeah, okay, so you know that musical you love? You're going to fly to London and audition for that, and you have to know a monologue and a song. So off you go. And I was like, great. And genuinely, when I went over with my mum, and we went over with this outlook of, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Like, neither of us in our wildest dreams ever thought that it would ever amount to anything. We were like, we're going over to London for a weekend, and we went to see a show in the West End. Like, that was our approach. We were like, we're never coming to London, just the two of us again. This will never ever happen again. And then sure enough, I was asked for a call back, and then I was asked for another call back, and I kept going. And every time we went over, it was that thing of, well, this might never happen again. This is going to be loads of fun. And then sure enough, a few months later, we were living there.
Do you remember what song you had to sing for your first audition?
I do. We were asked to pick a song, and the song I chose was, it was Veruca Salt's song from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of I Want It Now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was my choice.
That's such a, but what it's very interesting to me there is that both you and Ferdia did kind of small local classes. So I think they're really, if you get a good local teacher, it can be phenomenally important to kickstart your
100%. Like, without that acting and sing teacher and the dance teacher that I have, I don't know what I would have done, because without them, Matilda wouldn't have happened, and without Matilda, Artemis doesn't happen, because that's how I made the leap to Artemis. So it is that thing of, if you are lucky enough to have that one teacher, it's the same in school, whether it's to do with the performing arts or whether it's just to do with the subject that you particularly enjoy. A teacher can change everything.
Yeah, and so that leads nicely on to kind of another LOP, lots of people questions. Do you see theater and movies as your chosen career now? Yeah, that's, your mind is made up, this is the way I'm going to go.
I do, definitely. I mean, I think everybody at one point, they have the thing of, everybody at one point, they have that one dream. And that was me from the minute I found out what acting was. I think I was about 7 when I first started doing just classes. And I only wanted to do it because I wanted to spend time with my friends after school. But the minute I just came alive in those classes, I truly felt like I could be myself, and I felt so at home acting. And so from then I was like, oh yes, I'm going to be an actress. And of course, when you're 7, everybody's like, okay, good for you, well done. But even as I grew older, that passion only grew stronger, and it's still the same. Like, every time I watch a new film, every time I watch a new interview or read a new book, like that spark just grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know for definite now that hopefully is my future, but it's definitely what I want to pursue.
And are you still applying for obviously you're still applying for parts? I know everything seems to have slowed down now with the pandemic. That's probably a bit of an issue at the moment, but hopefully we'll get back to it in the new year very early. And you could, would you like to go back on stage again? Or would you, if something?
Oh, definitely. I like a question that I get asked a lot is like, oh, do you prefer stage or do you prefer screen? And for me, they're both totally different things. They're so different that you can almost not compare them. I love them both so much. So yes, I would love to. I'd love to perform again. I miss it so much. But yeah, I love the stage and I love the screen just as much. But yeah, definitely stage isn't going anywhere. I love it just as much.
We're all really looking forward to seeing what you do next. It's very exciting to watch like a young star that you kind of have a connection with and see what they're going to do next. So best of luck on that front. Or sorry, break a leg on that front.
Thank you.
But to get back to Holly, August weather, asked an interesting question. What characteristics did you like about Holly that you thought maybe you shared and helped you to play that role?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I loved Holly from the minute I read the books, and I think I read them when I was around 10. And before the idea of an Artemis Fowl movie had ever come to my ears, I had never heard of the fact that it was going to be a film. I was just interested in it because I loved fantasy novels. And the minute I read the book, I fell in love with Holly, just because my favorite thing about Holly is how she doesn't really care about, this could be a good thing or a bad thing. She doesn't really care about the consequences of her actions. And in some cases, that's a bad thing. But in most cases with Holly, it's a good thing, because what will happen is, so for example, say Root is telling her, oh, you can't do this. Yeah. But Holly knows that deep down, it's the right thing to do. And because of her knowing her immaculate judgment, which is something else that I love about her, of what is right and what is wrong, she does what is right, even if it means that she'll get in trouble, even if it means that her life is at risk. She will stick to her fundamental morals of what is right and wrong. And that's something that I absolutely love about her. Another thing I love about her that I share with her is her sense of humor. She's very sarcastic. I am very sarcastic, and I love that about her. I love it. No, any of my friends will tell you, yeah, I'm very sarcastic. So that was definitely something that I loved about her. And even when I was auditioning for it, with her little like quick wit, that was something that really helped me become her. I think was my sharing her sense of humor, because I feel like once you can understand someone's sense of humor, you really click into what kind of person they are. So that was definitely a big help for me, was her quick wit.
Well, it really worked, because I think the pairing of yourself and Ferdia was one of the really positive things to come out of that movie. So thank you for that. Next question is from Sheamus, who is too old to be asking questions. He says, what was it like learning how to fly? I think we talked about that before, but maybe you could.
Oh my goodness.
Remind us. It's quite tough, I believe.
It's definitely physically challenging. It was so much fun, and I would give anything to be able to do it again. If I could have brought the harness and the wires and everything home with me and hung it from my ceiling, I would have, but I feel like I would have broken the house. But you know, what can you do? But oh my goodness, it was so much fun. But it is definitely very physically challenging, which I feel like a lot of people don't realize when it comes to that, because everybody hears immediately that they're wires and that, oh, it's wires, so you don't do anything. But it's not like that at all. I was so lucky with my stunts team. They were absolutely incredible, and they helped me so much. I would train for hours upon hours every day just to strengthen my core, and just strength training and cardio training. And then when it came to the flying, when you're flying, when you sit in the rig, you are upright. But in order to have the flying effect, you need to be horizontal. So the only thing that's going to make you horizontal is you being able to hold yourself horizontal. And so you have to work super hard on your core. You have to have super core strength to be able to physically hold your body horizontally, which was what the majority of my training was strengthening up my core to be able to do that. And then when I still remember when I first was able to hold it horizontally, it was the biggest achievement ever. We were all so excited, and then immediately it was into, okay, what tricks can I do? Tricks can I do when I was flying? And then it was somersaults and back somersaults and tumbles and rolls and everything in between, and it was so much fun. But I would spend hours in a rig just going around and around and doing different combinations, and I absolutely loved it. One of my favorite memories from filming is, I think it was my second day of filming. It's the scene where Holly lands at the Hill of Tara, and we actually filmed that outside, and we had constructed a Hill of Tara with the tree, and I was up, I think 50 feet maybe, and I was in my costume and in a rig, and when I was flying, I could just feel the wind blowing through my elf ears. And it felt so amazing. It felt so real. And that was what was so incredible about it. And in between, when we would begin to film, I would be sitting up at 50 feet and looking around, and I could see the the view was spectacular, and I could see all the crew, and it was a very surreal moment for me as an actress to not only sit there and think, oh my gosh, I'm up 50 feet and I'm about to fly playing an elf, but also that thing of, look at where I am, look at what I'm doing. It was definitely a moment of surrealism.
You've been 15 at that time or 16?
I was 14.
14. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's
So
time to
especially
miss.
yeah,
Yeah.
as a 14-year-old to sit and look around and look down, and there's some of the most esteemed filmmakers down there watching you, and you're working with them. It's just, yeah, it was such a moment of honor and privilege, and that's how I feel every single time when I look back on the film. It was just that feeling of, I can't believe I'm here. And I think Ferdy will share that with me, of it was, he said it as well, like when we both auditioned for it, it was a thing of, neither of us were like, oh, we're going to get this. We went in and we were like, oh, this will be fun. Like, and then it was that thing, it was the same thing as Matilda of, we got a call back, and then we got another call back, and then suddenly you're on a film set with Kenneth Branagh, and you're flying 50 feet in the air with elf ears. And it was that constant moment of looking around and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we're doing this.
Lots of people asked, actually, did you manage to hold on to any of those elf ears? Like, do you have a pair of elf ears somewhere that you can every now and then? You do?
I do. I do. I think I have 3 pairs, not just around like in my drawers or anything, like they're somewhere safe, but I have 3 pairs. I have a pair from my screen test, and it was the first screen test I did, so we were in full costume, hair and makeup and everything, and Christian, who did my prosthetics, who did my ears throughout the whole shoot, he was kind enough, because we didn't know if we were going to be coming back or not, he gave each of the girls who auditioned for Holly their ears, and so I kept them safe. But when we were coming back, my mum and I were like, oh my god, what if someone opens the suitcase? What if someone opens the suitcase? They're going to be like, what? Okay, I might have to pull you aside for questioning there. And then I was also given my pair of ears for my first day of shooting and for my last day of shooting. Wow. So I have 3 pairs of elf ears in my bedroom, which is not something of any 17-year-old. Yeah,
you're a great
fairly unique.
Find those in the attic and go, what is going on here?
What could this mean?
Elf ears. And do you have another one which is quite similar to the one you already answered, but besides the flying and that amazing moment when you were 50 feet up, is there one other moment that you would say that like really influenced you as an actor? You know, that you saw somebody do something, or, you know, I don't know, Josh or Dame Judy or something that you thought, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Was there someone that blew you away as such?
That was what the entire filming of Artemis was for me, because it was my first big film. Like with the other films that I've worked on, I played a small role in them, and so this with Artemis, it wasn't like that at all. And so the entire experience was a learning experience, and especially the people I was around, like, oh my goodness, I mean, being directed by Sir Kenneth Branagh and working with Josh Gad and Dame Judi Dench and working with Ferdia and Nonzo, every day was a learning experience, as silly as cliche as that sounds, but every day was a learning experience. Like I remember the first day I filmed with Judy. I mean, just watching her at work was amazing. I mean, just every day on that set was a learning experience.
Well, even for me as a writer, just going on there and seeing how people, really professionals, how they comport themselves and how they behave, and there's such, you know, everybody, there's no big egos, it's all, we're here to work, we want to do this well.
Exactly.
And I think that's how it gets done. Right, we're going to finish off, if you don't mind, with some quick fire where you just have to pick one or the other, and these have all come in again from hundreds of people. I don't even know what some of them mean, but I will ask anyway.
Thank you.
First one is Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Really? I always go for Star Trek. I'm a big Star Trek fan, but I suppose Star Trek is probably more my generation. You guys have your new Star Wars trilogy. This one is a very loaded one for Ferdia, I think, and it was Jurassic Park or Jaws.
Oh God. He's gonna kill me. For me, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well,
for me
again, Jaws is my era. And for people who don't know, the reason that's loaded is because Fergie's granddad was Quint in Jaws. So here's one. This is one I don't really. Niall Horan or Harry Styles? I don't have.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Really?
Yeah. See, I grew up with when One Direction went on X Factor. So to me, that was when you were like 9 and 10. That was all your life revolved around, was which member of One Direction were you in love with. But I'm trying to think.
Was it neither of those guys? Was it one of the other?
A younger me would have said Niall Horan, but now I'm not sure.
He's lovely.
Now yeah, I mean,
I'll vote for Niall.
But now I would say, as much as I love Niall, and as much as it's breaking my heart to say, and 9-year-old me would be horrified, but I think I'm going to go with Harry Styles because he's done some acting now. So, that's a one-up in his part,
You've matured, Lara.
Yeah, I've grown.
There's one on Instagram or TikTok. I don't even really know what happens on TikTok, but are you on?
Neither do I.
Yeah. So Instagram.
No, I have no interest. I've talked about I don't understand. I don't get it. So I'm gonna say Instagram, but yeah, I just don't. My friends will say to me something about that's going on TikTok, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of that means. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Instagram on that one.
Here's an interesting one. Swimming, would you swim in the sea or in a pool? Sea swimming is very.
I'm more of a pool gal because I feel like more can go wrong in the sea. And I'm not very good at swimming anyway, so I'm gonna play it safe with the pool. Yeah.
Unusual to hear a girl who was suspended 50 feet in the air.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you?
But anyway, and the last question is Harry Potter or Voldemort? So do you like the good guy or the bad guy?
Oh, Harry Potter! Come on, like
I'm kind of I'm a bad guy, so I always go for Darth Vader and Voldemort. And
I never would have guessed, considering who Artemis is and what type of character he is. I never would have. Yeah, I never would have put that together. So yeah, I'm a Holly, so I'm gonna go for the. I'm gonna go for Harry. Yeah.
Well, that's it, Lara.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's such a. Hopefully, we can all meet up soon and have a reunion.
Yes, hopefully.
Or something.
Definitely.
But for now, have a great Christmas. I hope you get back.
You too. Thank you so much.
Sooner rather than later. I know you will, and none of us can wait to see what you do next. We're sure it's going to be fantastic, and you're going to be fantastic in us. But for now, happy Christmas. Have a great time.
Thank you so much, Owen.
And
you too.
And say hello to your.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
I will. Bye. Thank you.